DESE is piloting a content-agnostic classroom observation tool, which I love and I want to walk through with you. I think there's a lot of questions for leaders, instructional coaches, department heads, like what do I want to have students feel? What do I want to feel as an observer? What do I want to kind of see here in the most broad sense of observing and collecting information? Not tied to just those senses, because I want to be really inclusive and not ableist in that language. But I think that's really important to name what some of those things are. So we're going to dive in. This is useful for all
at the outset. Love this guiding question. I think this is something that we could all get behind, right? That the learning is inclusive, culturally and linguistically sustaining. It promotes deeper learning and it's based in evidence. So there's some low inference notes ideas here. I'll share in another video some examples of those. We have section 1 related to the learning environment, and I want to name too that this is all in connection. It's noted in the context here, but the DESE, which is the Department of Education for Massachusetts, their Educational Vision and Standards of Effective Practice, this comes from there. I love that this is a quick checklist. This is something that you can pull onto like a graph and chart over time, and there is that space for qualitative low inference notes at the top. Okay, section 1, learning environment. So we have the welcoming and supportive space. We talk about kind of what is in the physical space, in the classroom, on the walls. We talk about student interactions, reinforcing inclusivity and valuing experiences and identities. We have established routines for learning. In terms of curriculum planning, we're talking about grade level content standards and practices. This is incredibly important as we don't over scaffold or we don't reduce the challenge. I love that this is continued here. When we look at WIDA standards and we think about our multilingual learners, right, we are grounded in language objectives and we're engaging students with using disciplinary language. Clearly visible purpose or co-constructed purpose where we're building it with the students is super cool and exciting to me. So that could include things like the essential question, right? Or any of the lesson specific goals. When we look at instruction, students are doing the majority of the thinking and it's at grade level, right? So they're writing, they're reading, they're talking to each other. They receive scaffolds when they need it, not when they don't. And the scaffolds enable them to have an understanding and persevere so that they can actually engage with grade level material. I really think that's important. All students participate in academic discourse. They're actually talking to one another. I think that was in here somewhere, that they are kind of talking to each other. Perhaps not, but I love, oh, there we go. Responding directly to their peers. All students receive and incorporate feedback. I think this is huge. Whether it's whole class or individual, it's asset-based, it maintains the cognitive lift, and I love this idea that it re-engages them in a text or task and gives them an ability to revise their work. So the first grade is not the last grade. All students are really engaging in work that leverages their identities, home language, or culture, and we're thinking critically. We're examining our biases. We're making connections between what is happening today, real world applications to the content, and we're examining diverse perspectives and deepening our understanding. We're asking questions of our peers and the teacher. I love this kind of inquiry focus. Now here, I won't go through all of these, but I do want to add that these are curriculum planning look-fors. So just for example, I'm often in the history space. So these are kind of what are the inquiry questions and really how are we critically examining diverse sources and perspectives. I think this is really cool that each of these are content specific. So explore that.
One document of many that DESE is piloting for the school year 24-25. There's even a feedback link that's in this document we just went through. I'll link to this doc, but also the kind of whole library of things they're piloting. Feel free to give feedback, test it out, and let us know how it goes.